Hey guys, long time no see. This is Butler Bulldog Bill again. And last time we left off, I had done a video about Butler's first round Horizon League tournament win over Wright State. And I had hoped to have a video up uh, on Saturday, that following Saturday, after they had played Wisconsin-Milwaukee the night before. Unfortunately, I was not able to do that. I've been had a pretty busy, last couple weeks, and then I also just didn't feel like doing one because I got pretty upset, because of the following game after that. But anyway, Butler did defeat Wisconsin-Milwaukee in the second round of the Horizon League tournament. Pretty much destroyed them. Pulled away in the second half. Nailed a lot of their shots. Hit over 50% from the field. And took out 4-seeded Wisconsin-Milwaukee. Butler as the 5 seed. Then they moved on to the semifinals to play Valparaiso. Valparaiso, the number 1 seed, the home team in the tournament. But Valparaiso, they looked really good for 3 minutes. As sad as that sounds, they were hitting all their shots. They took like an 8-3 lead, and it looked like they had the momentum that they were just going to jump ahead and not relent. But then they just went cold, and it looked like just like the beginning of the season where they just couldn't hit their shots. Their offense just looked pitiful. And Valparaiso came down and they hit everything. They were burning Butler up on 3-pointers. Brokoff, Van White, those guys were just tearing Butler up. Butler never recovered. Lost the game by about 17, 18 points. I don't even remember now. I don't really give a crap. It was just a disappointing game nonetheless. And that eliminated Butler from NCAA tournament competition, or from making the NCAA tournament. Put them on the NIT bubble, which they didn't even make the NIT. But as far as Valparaiso is concerned, they went on to the Horizon League championship game as the 1 seed, as the home team, and they got their butts busted by University of Detroit. Detroit was the 3 seed. Detroit came in, and I don't know, Valparaiso just kind of had a role reversal with Butler. They were the ones that weren't hitting anything at all. Ray McCallum, Eli Holman were leading Detroit to a butt kicking of Valparaiso on the road even. So it was pretty interesting. It was a pretty good win for Detroit. Got them into the NCAA tournament. Valparaiso with the loss. If you win your regular season conference title but don't win the conference tournament, you are guaranteed a spot into the NIT. So Valparaiso got an invite to the NIT. Butler ended up with an invite to the CBI, and I know not a lot of you know what the CBI is. This is the 5th year of this postseason tournament. It's called the College Basketball Invitational. It is a 16-team tournament. It takes place on a channel called HDNet that I didn't even realize I had until last night. HDNet is owned by Mark Cuban. The Gazelle Group runs the College Basketball Invitational. They have their own selection committee of former players, coaches that select these 16 teams into this tournament. See, last year the Oregon Ducks won it. Oregon State has won it before. VCU, Virginia Commonwealth, they won it the year before they went on their Final Four run, so that was 2 years ago. But Tulsa, I think, has won it before. Yeah, they have. But anyway, this tournament, Butler got in first round game. They got to be the home team, and they were hosting the Delaware Blue Hens, which was last night. And I'll give you an update on that a little later on. But one thing I don't like about the CBI is that they invite teams with a losing record into the tournament. They usually have one a year, and it's always out of the Pac-12. One year they had Oregon State come in with a losing record. Oregon State actually went on to win the CBI that year. I think that was the second year that it operated. And then the next year, Oregon State got invited back again with a losing record. They didn't win the championship that time. There was another year, last year, Oregon got invited with a losing record, and they won the tournament. And this year, Washington State out of the Pac-12 hasn't been invited with a losing record, and they won their first game. So they're into the quarterfinals right now. 8 teams left. Washington State's one of them. Even though Oregon State won it with a losing record, and Oregon won it with a losing record, I just feel, even though they might have been the best teams in the field, I don't think they're worthy to get a tournament bid if you have a losing record. So I don't understand the selection process by the committee of the CBI in allowing that to happen. There are plenty of other teams out there with losing records that they could, or with winning records that they could have brought into the tournament. And I know sometimes teams just turn down invites to the CBI and they either go to the CIT, which is called the collegeinsider.com tournament. That's an all mid-major tournament, 32 teams. Or they just don't play in a postseason at all. So, but with as many teams with winning records as there are, you'd think you'd be able to fill that spot up, easily. But nonetheless, they let a losing team into the tournament every year. And Butler is in that tournament this year. Hopefully, we pull out championship win. Oh, and another thing that I was doing, let's see. On Selection Sunday, no, it wasn't Selection Sunday. It was the week before Selection Sunday. So this would be March 4th. I was in Bloomington, Indiana. I was at Assembly Hall. My fiance is an IU basketball fan, and I had gotten her tickets for Christmas to go to a game that she'd always wanted to go to. She wanted to go see the IU and Purdue game. So we went to Assembly Hall and watched Indiana play Purdue. The atmosphere was fantastic. It was a sellout. The crowd was rocking. I guess people were lined up, that morning. It was a Sunday morning. They were lined up in the morning outside the stadium trying to get their tickets, students. It was Indiana came out and they just absolutely dominated Purdue in the first half. They were nailing threes. They nailed their threes all game. Will Sheehy was hitting them. Matt Roth, I don't think he missed a three-pointer the entire game. Watford was hitting his threes, and he led the team in scoring for the game. Christian Watford. Victor Oladipo was hitting threes. I could go on and on. Indiana's just got a lot of three-point shooters. Verdell Jones, this was before he got hurt. But yeah, they dominated them in the first half, and then the second half came out and they looked cold and they looked terrible. They were standing around on offense. They let Purdue cut the lead to single digits. It was like a 17-point lead at one point, 19-point lead. Let Purdue get it down to 6 or 7, or maybe even 5. I don't even remember right now, but I just remember this getting stupid. The fans were getting restless, trying to wonder why IU's not, doing what they did in the first half. And it just provided for some intense moments, but Indiana ended up pulling it out. They extended their lead. They hit their free throws in the end, which was most important. I've never been to a college basketball rivalry game before, so that was quite an experience, seeing how the crowd treats the rival team. But anyway, it was just a lot of fun. Indiana with the win. And that's what I did on that particular eve. I tried to look for, I guess Hoosier List wanted me to meet up with her and get on a video with her. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to meet up with her. I didn't get that message until after the game. She put it on my Facebook wall that we should meet up. I didn't see that until after the game. So I'm sure we could get something, together sometime. But anyway, glad to be back. Glad to be able to post another video finally. And I'm getting ready to do a Butler and Delaware game recap. So be on the lookout for that. Thanks, guys, and you have a great day. See you in a bit.